Welcome to our video on SOC 2 and HIPAA compliance on AWS. Compliance frameworks like SOC 2, HIPAA, and PCI-DSS can seem challenging. The good news is that if you're on AWS, you're already starting with a strong foundation that meets many requirements. This program is Module 3, Episode 5 of the Understanding AWS and Cloud Services course, brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team.
This video is part of a larger curriculum on AWS for business builders. This module, M3E5, focuses on security, identity, and compliance. Compliance often feels overwhelming for small and mid-sized businesses because the frameworks are technical and assume dedicated security teams. Our approach starts with the AWS Shared Responsibility Model, showing how AWS manages a significant portion of the compliance burden. The core concept for compliance on AWS is the Shared Responsibility Model. It defines who is responsible for what, drawing a clear line between what AWS handles and what falls to you. Understanding this distinction is key to your security and compliance strategy. AWS is responsible for security, of the cloud, covering the physical layer, global network, hypervisor, and managed services. You are responsible for security, in the cloud, including your data IAM, network configuration, firewalls, and application security. This model is beneficial because AWS provides pre-certified infrastructure. You can focus on configuration and documentation, not building secure facilities from scratch. This gives even small business enterprise-level security at a manageable cost. AWS holds over 140 security and compliance certifications globally, including SOC, HIPAA, PCI-DSS, ISO, and FedRAMP. When using AWS, you automatically inherit this infrastructure-level compliance without extra cost or effort. Chapter 1 focuses on SOC 2 for small and mid-sized businesses. SOC 2 has become the standard for B2B software companies and cloud service providers. If you serve mid-market or enterprise customers, you will likely be asked for SOC 2 report. SOC 2 is a voluntary auditing standard that evaluates controls across 5 trust services criteria. Unlike a certification, SOC 2 produces a report. Type 2 reports carry more weight, demonstrating sustained controls over time. SOC 2 evaluates your organization across 5 dimensions: security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. Only security is required, but the others are commonly included depending on your business model. The 5 SOC 2 criteria map directly to AWS services. For example, security maps to IAM and guard duty. Availability uses CloudWatch and auto-scaling. Confidentiality relies on KMS and Macie. SOC 2 Type 1 is a point-in-time snapshot, faster and less expensive, suitable for early-stage companies. Type 2 verifies operating effectiveness over 6 to 12 months. Enterprise customers almost always require Type 2 reports. Chapter 2 covers HIPAA on AWS. If your business handles protected health information, or PHI, HIPAA applies to you, whether you're building a patient portal, a telehealth platform, or a health analytics tool. HIPAA requires administrative, physical, and technical safeguards to protect PHI. If you handle PHI on behalf of a covered entity, you are a business associate. Remember, HIPAA is a legal requirement, not a certification. AWS services are designated as HIPAA eligible, allowing AWS to sign a business associate agreement, or BAA. This includes services for compute, storage, databases, security, and networking. Always verify the current list on the AWS website. The AWS Business Associate Agreement is legally required if you handle PHI on a covered entity's behalf. AWS provides this self-service agreement through the AWS Artifact portal. The BAA covers AWS's responsibilities for the infrastructure and network layer. Signing the BAA is just the start. Your organization is responsible for technical and administrative controls. This compliance gap includes encrypting PHI at rest and in transit using AWS KMS and enforcing TLS 1.2+. Your HIPAA obligations also include implementing strict access controls using least privilege IAM policies and enabling MFA. You must also enable and retain audit logs using CloudTrail and CloudWatch logs, meeting the 6-year retention requirement. Finally, You must conduct and document formal risk analyses, updating them whenever your environment changes significantly. These are required by HIPAA, not just suggested best practices. Chapter 3 covers PCI-DSS compliance for businesses that accept payments. If your business handles credit or debit card data, the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard applies to you, regardless of size or volume. PCI-DSS is a set of security requirements enforced contractually through your payment processor. It has 12 core requirements. Your compliance level is based on annual transaction volume, with most SMBs falling under the less burdensome Level 3 or 4. AWS is a PCI-DSS Level 1 service provider. However, this certification only covers the infrastructure layer. You cover the application layer, including encryption, access control, vulnerability management, and penetration testing. The smartest PCI strategy is reducing your scope. Fewer systems touching cardholder data means simpler compliance. Strategies include using tokenization, redirecting to hosted payment pages, and network segmentation. A key AWS tool for compliance is AWS Artifact. This free service is your on-demand compliance library, giving you instant self-service access to AWS's certifications and compliance agreements. In AWS Artifact, you can download compliance reports like SOC1, SOC2, and PCI-DSS attestations. You can also manage legal agreements, including the HIPAA, BAA, and AWS non-disclosure agreements. The process is simple. Open the console, navigate to AWS Artifact, find your desired report, accept the NDA terms, and download the PDF. The entire process takes minutes, allowing for rapid response to customer inquiries. Another key AWS tool is AWS Security Hub, which provides automated compliance scoring. It is a centralized dashboard that continuously monitors your AWS environment against industry security standards. Security Hub performs continuous automated checks against built-in standards like AWS Foundational Security Best Practices and PCI-DSS. Findings are categorized by severity, helping you prioritize remediation based on risk. The AWS Foundational Security Best Practices, or FSBP, standard is the best starting point. You enable Security Hub, activate FSBP, review your score, and remediate findings. This gives you a free automated mini-audit. Understanding the boundary between AWS's automatic coverage and your configuration is crucial. This is the practical compliance gap you must close to be fully ready for an audit. You must own 4 configuration areas: encryption at rest, encryption in transit, access logging and audit trails using CloudTrail, and documented incident response planning. These are non-negotiable for compliance. In summary, the compliance gap is manageable. AWS handles the heavy lifting, leaving you with a focused configuration and documentation challenge to achieve SOC2, HIPAA, or PCI-DSS readiness. Compliance is a business advantage, not just a checkbox. It helps you close enterprise deals faster, reduces your risk exposure, and allows you to build a scalable foundation for growth. Compliance also signals trustworthiness to customers. In an era of data breaches, third-party attestation shows that you take their data seriously, creating a competitive differentiator. To recap, remember the Shared Responsibility Model is your starting point. You inherit AWS's infrastructure certifications, and tools like AWS Artifact and Security Hub are free and essential resources. The main gap is configuration and documentation, including encryption, audit logs, and access controls. Most small to mid-sized businesses are closer to compliance than they realize, with the necessary work being tactical, not transformational. In the demo walkthrough, we explored AWS Artifact to download the SOC2 Type 2 report and locate the HIPAA BAA. We also navigated AWS Security Hub to enable the Foundational Security Best Practices standard.